Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mrbigmick, and today I am joined once again by my good friend Gerrick. Gerrick, say hello.
I've got wood, people.
Apparently, Gerrick has wood.
I got hardwood.
God help us all. Don't worry, he plays a resto druid, so he is legally allowed to say that, just not within 200 meters of a school zone.
That's copyrighted, by the way. If anybody steals it, I'm gonna come to your house and I'm gonna do things to you.
Anywho, today we are here to talk about the future of the Alliance. This is the counterpart video to the Horde video that we put out not too long ago. Um, it was a pretty good video, and we're just going to do the same thing about the Alliance. So, future of the Alliance, what do you think, Eric?
Hmm. Well, um, it's kind of a broad question, actually. I think it's like the Horde is, it's got some good things going, some new things with the introduction of the Dark Irons, the Gilneans, the Highborn, this, that, and there. Any specific question you might have?
Well, I mean, it's similar to what I said with the Horde. It's just a matter of, in general, the Alliance has proven to be on the back foot when it comes to fighting the Horde militarily. And though most of the engagements between the Alliance and the Horde have been some sort of retreat because they were on the back foot, so to speak. With Gilneas, the Gilneans were already fairly ravaged by the Worgen curse, and South Shore they just basically plague bombed everything, and there was a very small military force there. In Stone Talon, it was basically they used a WMD and tactics like that in order to win. And though they've proven to be more on the back foot in terms of military, as we discussed in the last video, the Horde really does seem more focused on fighting Alliance than they are fighting the opposing force, as opposed to the Alliance, who really has proven to be more oriented with fighting the big enemy, be it the Scourge or Deathwing or anything
Right.
like that. They seem a lot more dedicated. Um, so they haven't really won too many engagements. And as we said, or we may have said this in the previous video, the Alliance is going to lose Theramore due to the Horde's actions. We're not entirely sure where that is. The Horde still has that giant railgun in Ajara,
Yeah. The
but
thing. Go
I,
ahead.
I mean, it all comes down to what is the Alliance going to do in order to try and counteract this massive Horde push. What do you think?
Um, I think they are going to weather it out at as far as Theramore, I think they're going to weather it out because they first of all Theramore is like the last official human civilization next to Stormwind, which is kind of a big thing. And
Well,
eh,
they've already announced that Theramore is just going to get completely destroyed. It's basically they've said it's going to go bye bye.
oh,
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like it's going to be under siege. It's just going to be destroyed, as in gone.
might want to edit that out.
No, we do it all live, baby. We're risk takers.
uh, um, well, okay, well, the thing is then it's kind of like where is the middle ground for this because like Varian Ren is kind of like our version of Garrosh, so to speak, and
A bit,
you
yeah.
know, and the only way that The only way we've advanced as Alliance in the Cataclysm at all, as far as land control, would be
Camp
Southern
Taracho.
Barrens.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you take out Theramore, then it's like, well, shit. Now we only have one human civilization left total, and now we're losing every front on a 2-decade war.
Well, like I said, I mean the Alliance is definitely behind in terms of the Cataclysm, but I mean there's still a few major players who haven't really done much. There is Gilneas. They are a human bastion. There's Stormwind. Theramore's probably going to go. Well, Theramore is going to go, but then there's Kul Tiras. And
Yeah. That I was thinking that's kind of what I'm hoping and banking on, because
the Alliance
you know,
needs it.
yeah, that, and it would make sense too. If you take out Theramore, they're not going to take out Jaina. They aren't. I mean, if
No,
they took out Jaina,
no.
Thrall would come from God knows where and shove a big old stick up of Garrosh's ass.
Well, here's where I think that's going to go. It's there's the people in Theramore who are constantly trying to um, cause a lot of problems. Saying, oh well, we're not really fighting the orcs as much as we should, and the people who are always trying to provoke the people in Theramore. And since Theramore is this military nightmare to try and siege, I think it's going to go down where those people are going to throw a bit of a coup. They're going to try and oust Jaina, and they're going to be successful because she'd rather just bail than have to annihilate a whole bunch of her people. While Theramore's weakened, I get the feeling the Horde's going to strike.
Well, what I was getting at is, they're going to take out Theramore, but they're not going to take out Jaina. And
Yeah, but I mean,
one
I think
and hang on. And once once she gets back, she's like, okay, let's see. Every other human place that's ever been besides Stormwind is pretty much dead, except
Kul Tiras.
Skeleton, Kul Tiras, my hometown. You know, and this is Missa Pandaria, where it's like, I don't know. I mean, they call it a continent. It seems more like an island to me. And so and they said we're going to have a big old naval battle that will introduce us into Missa Pandaria with better naval ships, forces to get than from Kol Charos itself.
It's true. It's true. But I mean that would make sense if Jaina left, she would probably go to her own people, and that would be kind of an awkward situation considering the events of the Third War, where she basically tried to side. She did side with Thrall, and so I mean there would be some awkwardness there, but she could probably convince them to help them because of the fact that, well, they hate the Horde, and I don't think it would take too much. And if there was a coup in Theramore and she left and Theramore got wiped out, she would just basically show up with this fleet at Stormwind and be like, alright, well, let's just do this. It's gonna happen. Might as well show up and kick some ass. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um. And I don't know. This may be a little off topic, but I wish. I know they aren't, but it would be so cool if they had um, Rexar leading the assault on Theramore. That would. I know they're not going to do it because Blizzard just isn't like that. Case in point, Khadgar and Deathwing. But
Yeah.
if they did that would just mean so much to me and probably anybody else who's played Warcraft.
Well, Rexar
Or
hasn't gotten any love at all, man.
yeah.
They just haven't paid a damn bit of attention to him at all.
Uh-huh.
But
They're like All right, he's home now. We gave him a new skin. He's not an orc anymore. See you later. Good luck. Bye.
Hello, what?
Yeah.
But so anyway, that's what's we think is going to happen. These are very much theory crafting oriented, and so don't take anything what we say as a definite, because there are no definites when it comes to Blizzard. Case in point, StarCraft Ghost. Um, so
Um. How about we start talking about night elves and or Draenei?
well, the Draenei haven't really done much since the purification of the Sunwell. Um, they basically seem to be for tactical support. They don't really go out and fight a lot, which I can understand considering the fact that they're extremely intelligent and they've got a lot going for them. But they haven't really done too much. Valen picked up Anduin, Anduin Wren, as sort of a student for priestly education,
In
which did
Wolfheart, yes.
yes, and so that's where that's going. The Night Elves do seem to be they are the driving force of the Alliance military in Kalimdor. They are
Well,
they're big on fighting the orcs in their home front, and they've got the Gilneans to assist them because the Gilneans do owe the Night Elves a debt.
there is one thing. As I mentioned before, I'm reading the book Wolfheart. Velen, they're having this big meeting as to what the alliance is going to do. Making friends and such.
Wait, 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 wait,
And
wait, wait. Could you hold on a sec?
yeah,
All right. Sorry about that, folks. There was a bit of technical difficulties. Anyway, continue, Brady.
so in this book, long story short, all the ambassadors of each faction inside the alliance meets up together in Teldrassil, and they didn't invite the Draenei. I'm not sure why. So Valen himself shows up unexpected, and he makes a statement that uh, the Draenei are staying here. Yeah, there are a few, and I don't know. It seems kind of weird since it's like one expansion late for saying this, but they are staying. Yeah, he says yeah. There's going to be a couple people that are going to go back to Draenor to try and rebuild our home world and stuff, but we owe the Alliance a debt, and Azeroth is the only planet out of the countless ones that we have encountered that has been able to hold off the Legion not only once but multiple times. And I don't know, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but everybody at the meeting goes like, "Oh my god, they're staying! Oh my god, what are we gonna do? They look like squid. No, they look like ghosts." And then they get off in a big old fight. No, I just made that up. What? Huh?
Well, I mean, the reason they probably didn't invite him is because they probably assumed that they were going to leave. I mean, we players know that they weren't going anywhere because that means everybody would get a free race change from Janai, but it's just
Sweating in here? It's like 100 degrees in here.
damn,
Second.
Brady.
Huh?
Sorry about that again, folks. Having all sorts of difficulties today. Anywho, most people probably thought the Janai were going to leave because they didn't really have too much of a reason to stick around. Um, we all assumed they were gonna fix up the Exodar and just go, all right, later, folks. Thanks for the help. Bye. But
Mm, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just kind of assumed that they'd be staying because um I don't know. It they kind of owe us. They do owe us, and I don't know. I guess it'd be kind of cool to have a race that lives in Outland instead of Azeroth. But then it's kind of what the point. But
well, yeah, because then you got to go through the dark portal and stuff to do
mhm,
anything.
mhm.
But I mean, it is good to have them around from a tactical standpoint because there are more troops that are available to fight. There are more, tactical minds, and they are very tactical, and they do provide things in terms of a intellectual standpoint and a magical standpoint. They are extremely powerful in terms of the arcane magics. So having them in is something that would be extremely beneficial to the alliance, and just and it just seems like a bit of a plus because they like I said, they were probably expecting them to leave, and in finding out they aren't, it's like, well, sweet, we're not going to lose one of our allies.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I suppose you're right. I hope they actually have some sort of role because since the Sunwell, yeah, they've helped a little bit with the whole Lich King thing because holy people very good for that, but you know, as a whole, they haven't, and I don't know that disappoints me a little. Even if they are weird, they're kind of the OGs. They're probably the oldest living race on Azeroth that are mortal, flesh and blood, I should say.
Well, aside from dragons, they are. In order
Uh,
in order to get around that, the older races are dragons and demigods, basically.
it's
There's
possible that Draenei are actually older than dragons.
It is. It is. But the dragons are the only race that can actually compete.
Yeah, yeah,
Because,
yeah.
I mean, Velen was around when Kil'jaeden and Archimonde got corrupted by Sargeras.
Uh huh.
And, you know, the aspects were around when the Titans visited Azeroth, but that's a story for another video.
Yeah.
But it's just it is good to have them around. And in terms of the Kalimdor forces, I don't think the Night Elves would be like, oh, no, no, you can't fight. The Night Elves are going to be like, yes, please, we need people. We're
Hmm.
losing ground here. Our forests are being destroyed and torn up for resources, and we need to fight, and we need help. And it does seem appropriate that they would stick around, and that the forces would mesh together so they could match the horde at least there.
Right.
And I do think with Theramore gone, the horde is going to be more focused on the the
Northern
Ashenvale.
Kalimdor.
Yeah, they're going to be more focused there because all of their military resources can be dedicated. Um, that being said, with
Except for Feralas.
for where?
Feralas.
Well, yeah, there's Chandris, but I count that in sort of the same front. Um,
Suppose
the
that's true.
Yeah, I'll apply it to the same sort of general war front. It's just a big war front. Um, Now all of this being said, um, if Koltaros jumps back in and they decide to start assisting, um, do you think that the elves would benefit greatly from their military, just from the naval
Um.
fleet? Because that's what Koltaros is. Let's be honest. They're it's a navy.
Uh. As far as protection, yes. As far as offensive, no. Let me explain that because Teldrassil is an island, a very big island,
Yeah,
very tall one, but it's still an island, and therefore it's easier to defend than a whole continent. Now, with that said, some people might say, "Oh, well, Orgrimmar is pretty close to the sea. You know, Taras would probably have something to, hit them even from that far because Cold Taras is just OG. But the goblins are here now, and they have the balloons. They have their own ships. They have it all. And if they take down Theramore, then it's like more wood and ships for the war effort. Because even if they're human ships, Garrosh wouldn't waste any of those if he could.
Oh no, no, not at all. But I do think most of that would either be destroyed or either in the actual battle itself or just destroyed so the horde wouldn't get a hold of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
But yeah,
that's one of those things that militaries do. Um, in terms of Colteros and if they do enter it, because we don't know if they're going to, Blizzard could just not include them because Blizzard's known for doing shit like that.
yep. Even after saying it.
Yep. Especially after saying it. Anywho, you think Colteros would be able to siege Jara?
No, no, no way.
Because of all of the Goblin military fortifications?
That and um the Garrosh wouldn't allow it. He simply wouldn't. He would because that's so close to Orgrimmar, and it's especially now since if they get in there, then they get all these explosives. They take out that big cannon on Bilgewater Harbor that they aren't using for some godforsaken reason. Um,
It might.
it would just be such a huge blow to the Horde war effort because whether we know it or not, the Horde war machine needs it needs the fuel of the forest, the wood, but it needs the people who can run the machines even more. You take out the goblins and they're homeless again. They only have Orgrimmar. Freaking goblins going to be running all over the place, and it's almost like taking over Ironforge. If you didn't take down the Deeper on Triumph, then that would give them a direct route to Stormwind to take over. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good example.
Well, no, I understand what you mean. But, I mean, Colteros could go in and actually attack Jara while the Night Elves push the opposite front. Because that would be the Horde under assault from two fronts. There's the back door in Jara. There's a lot of resources there. There's a lot of mechanical sources there. And then the Night Elves push forward from Ashenvale, and they could push back, and that would basically be a two-pronged attack. That would be flanking basically an entire army, and that would be a bit of a pincer move.
Especially if since the Horde are now like in the middle of Ashenvale, then it's like hitting that force that's directed to the west in the back from the east.
Yes, I mean it would be an intelligent move. That is, if Colteros is actually involved, because again, we just don't know, because Blizz just doesn't let us know the shit like this.
Yeah.
Anywho, enough about that. Let's move on to the Eastern Kingdoms. The dwarves, the lovely, lovely dwarves. What are we gonna do with them? What are they gonna do?
Getting their king back, baby.
What do you
So
mean?
I've heard.
Well, I mean, there was the short story about the charge of the aspects where they say, well, Magni is technically, sorry, something got caught in my throat. He's technically still alive. I say technically because he's still a diamond statue, but
I think he is still alive.
there's still like some weird echoing cry of him shouting out. It's like a weird elemental force of him
Well,
yelling out.
the dwarves are, they were earthen before, so their natural root is the earth. If you got turned into a block of diamond, it's still rock. And there have been more miraculous things that have happened in WoW than just King coming back from quote unquote the dead via some spirit elemental rock magic.
Well, I mean, he could still. I'm not saying he's dead, but he's he's more of an elemental force, and he could calm some of the elements around in Dunmorrow. But for the time being, there's still the Council of Three Hammers. There's the Wild Hammer, the Dark Irons, and there's the Bronzebeard dwarves, and the bunch of them are, according to the Dwarven short story, they are actually coordinating with a good degree of effort. Martin is there. Moria, Bronzebeard, the son of Magni, is there, and the Wildhammer. I can't remember
Son
that
of
guy's name.
Son of Magni.
Or daughter of Magni. My bad.
Huh.
One's a brother, one's a daughter. My
I
memory is.
know it's a female dwarf, but I think she's still female.
There are no female dwarves.
There are.
But
Well, here's the thing to take in consideration too. I'm debating whether I should relate two things together.
Go for it.
This okay. Have you done any of the quests in Arathi Highlands?
No.
Ever
wow.
seen those big floating stones?
Yes, the elemental stones.
Yes. Well, you get a quest from one of them, and I don't know. You have to go and like unlock each of them because this elemental spirit, tells you, "Hey, I've been trapped here, and it was done by evil people. They're mean to me, so please just come, free me." And she's down below. She's like locked down below by these crystals that are way up here. So you go and do these quests, and you release her, and you find out that she's like evil, I believe it was.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Yeah. And this has been here since vanilla, this quest line. And once Cataclysm came around, you go down to Deepholm, you see the same chick. It started with AZ, I think. But
oh yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know. Maybe they could be using the same sort of logic, or as for Magni, or we totally saved the Earthen. We saved
The Frostdwarfs.
yeah, Therazane. We saved their kingdom, and maybe we could go. Maybe I don't know how they would do it. Maybe some of the dwarves would go and ask them, "Hey, you found our king. You know how to free him, bring him back, because she is, the Queen of Earth." Or maybe if he's not, dead, and his spirit is trapped somewhere in there, then maybe somebody will pick up on that and send it back to Azeroth, being like, "Hey, found this guy, orange hair and a crown. Anybody know this guy? Anybody know this guy?"
Well, I mean, they just said his spirit was yelling out, and he's sitting there and he's yelling out and he's doing his dwarf thing, but he's like offering some degree of protection, and his power has been apparently magnified intensely, because it was a Titan ritual that originally locked him in this state. It was a Titan ritual to save Ironforge from collapsing during the Cataclysm. And it probably made him extremely powerful. And I don't think they're actually going to free him, so to speak, but I do have a feeling he's going to have a pretty pivotal role to save. You know, he's going to be out and doing something. That being said, I don't think the gnomes are going to retake Gnomeregan ever, because that would be giving the
Yeah,
Alliance an extra city.
they never will.
They never will. They're not going to retake Gnomeregan. It's just, there's no love. It was originally going to be an actual city, but they're like, well, we're not going to do that because then the Horde's going to be down the city. It's like, shit, just give the goblins a city, give the gnomes their city. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
But
Or, like give goblins like their own state or something. I don't know.
yeah,
Like they did, and their own rocket way.
yeah.
But it's even. It's even now. So
Oh,
it's all good.
totally even. In case you guys didn't know, we do hold an alliance bias, no matter how
Yeah.
hard we try. Um,
I love me some troll, but I play alliance. I play alliance.
Anywho, um, I think
Um,
I think we've covered basically all we're going to cover.
most.
Varian's still going to be pissed off and trying to gut the orcs. I do think most of the war front, if not in Pandaria, is going to be down or up in the part of Kalimdor. And I get the feeling that the Alliance is going to be pushing pretty hard there. Simply because it is close to the heart of the Horde, and I don't think they're going to be abandoning their Night Elven allies. Because
One
in
thing
Wolf...
I'm wondering is the whole thing with Mount Hyjal, because I know Garrosh isn't that evil to go take on Hyjal, but wouldn't
He
Hyjal?
wouldn't dare. He wouldn't
Yeah,
dare. Just, I
well,
mean, that wouldn't be attacking the Alliance. That would be like siding with the Twilight's hammer.
yeah, that would be like killing the world in a sense. Um,
That would be just utterly stupid if he tried to do that. You'd have dragons and the Tauren would just, they would rebel, and that would be an idiotic move if there ever was an idiotic move.
and like what about the new aspects? I mean, Cenarius's home originally was in Ashenvale. He's always just kind of lived in Ashenvale, and he's resurrected from the dead. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's back! Yay! Now we're saved." And then Cataclysm's over, and he goes back. He's like, "What the hell?
Oh,
Is all the trees down?"
I got a feeling Cenarius is going to be pissed. If
Wrath
they
of the
did,
Night Elves.
if they don't have Cenarius in there, I'm going to be as disappointed as I was with the whole Khadgar thing. I will be. That would just be horrible. I would. Ugh. Ugh. Anywho,
Let's draw
um,
the straw. Let's draw the line right there, man.
line in the sand.
Where? Yeah.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This has been our feature of the Alliance video. We're probably going to do a few more of these about various different things, various lore discussions and talks. Um, I do have a brief request. If you have any sort of musical talent, I could use someone of a musician in order to play in the back of some of my videos. With your permission, of course. If you could send that in as a message to Mrbigmick, that would be wonderful. If you have any sort of musical skill, Brady, I do think you would be more than willing to take in a musician.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just send us in something. That's Mr. Gerrick and Mrbigmick. We are the two misters of of YouTubes. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, and good hunting. Brady, say goodbye.
I got wood.
God help us.